What if everything you thought you were manifesting was never truly your creation? What if the universe wasn't responding to your desire, but to your programming? This is the uncomfortable truth no one talks about in the manifestation world. You weren't consciously creating reality, you were unconsciously repeating it. Beneath the vision boards and affirmations lies a hidden architecture, a subconscious code written by your past, your culture, your trauma. And this code has been shaping your life far more than your willpower ever could. The question isn't, why isn't my manifestation working? The real question is, whose vibration am I actually broadcasting? In this transmission, we're going deeper, beyond the illusion of control, into the shadow realm of programming, and back out into your true creative power. If you've ever felt like your spiritual tools weren't enough, if you've sensed something deeper pulling the strings, you're not crazy. You're waking up, because you were never just manifesting, you were being programmed. Until now, for years, we've been sold the idea that manifestation is a tool, a superpower we can wield to command reality at will. But what if that idea itself is a trap? What if the very notion of control is the ego's favorite illusion, a way to feel powerful in a world that's already been programmed to direct your every thought? The truth is, most people who think they're manifesting are simply reacting to subconscious patterns, not creating from conscious choice. The power they feel isn't their own. It's borrowed from the script they were handed. This illusion of control is seductive. It feeds the belief that if you visualize hard enough, script your affirmations, and align your crystals just right, the universe will obey. But underneath that surface lies a deeper mechanism, one that thrives not on intention, but on repetition. You're not manifesting what you want, you're manifesting what you've been conditioned to expect. Your thoughts become things, not because you're empowered, but because your programming is automated. Think about it. From childhood, your mind was imprinted with ideas of success, love, failure, and fear. These became the dominant frequencies you emit, not because you chose them, but because they were installed when your brain was still in theta, the sponge state of pure hypnosis. So when you manifest something familiar, is it really magic or just a playback of your conditioning? The illusion lies in mistaking automation for creation. Even more dangerously, the manifestation movement often bypasses the shadow, encouraging people to stay positive while ignoring the buried traumas and inherited beliefs running the show. It teaches you to focus forward without ever questioning the operating system you're running. You may be changing the wallpaper, but the program underneath is still infected. This isn't empowerment, it's spiritual distraction dressed as destiny. To awaken from this dream is not to reject manifestation, but to see through its false lens. True creation requires excavation, a brave descent into your subconscious layers where the real code is stored. Only then can you begin to manifest not from a place of programmed belief, but from the raw frequency of awakened truth. Behind the scenes of every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every choice you make, there's a silent script running. It was written long before you had the awareness to question it. From your earliest memories, or even before birth, if you consider ancestral energy and karmic imprinting, your subconscious was being programmed. Parents, teachers, media, culture, they all wrote lines into your psyche, and those lines became your reality. You don't see the code, you live inside it. The subconscious mind operates like an invisible architect. It's responsible for over 90% of your daily behavior. So while your conscious mind says, "I want abundance," if your subconscious is still echoing, "I don't deserve it," guess which one the universe listens to? The subconscious is the tuning fork, and your reality dances to its vibration. Manifestation, then, isn't an act of willpower. It's a reflection of programming. You're not the author yet. You're the actor, playing a role written by invisible hands. Carl Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That is the essence of subconscious scripting. We call our experiences karma, destiny, or coincidence, when in truth, they are repetitions of an internal script. It's not that life is happening to us, it's that life is responding from us. But from a part of us we rarely visit or understand. Even your manifestation rituals may be influenced by this script. Are you scripting from fear or freedom? Are you visualizing from lack or from love? Most people manifest with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake, affirming wealth while believing in scarcity. That contradiction is not a flaw. It's a feature of your programming, and until you locate the source code, you'll keep wondering why your desires never fully land. The liberation begins with inquiry. Not surface-level questions, but deep excavations. Whose voice is this in my head? Where did I learn that I must struggle? Why do I feel unworthy when things go right? These are not just psychological questions. They are energetic keys. Because the moment you see the script, you gain the power to rewrite it, and that is the birth of true manifestation. From the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, you're swimming in frequencies, messages, signals, suggestions, most of which you didn't choose. The media doesn't just inform, it programs. It speaks in symbols and repetition, bypassing your critical mind and diving straight into the subconscious. This is cultural hypnosis, the slow, rhythmic lulling of your awareness into compliance. It's not just the news or entertainment. It's the tone, the framing, the repetition of fear, desire, inadequacy. It's a frequency war, and most don't even know they're in it. We often imagine the Matrix as a digital simulation, but it's more subtle than that. It's a mental simulation, created by the collective agreement of billions of programmed minds. The Matrix is every should you've inherited, every standard of beauty, success, and morality you've absorbed. It's the reason people fear judgment more than stagnation. It's the hive mind, operating through you while convincing you that you're making free choices. But the truth is, most people are living out narratives they never questioned. Think of advertising as modern-day spellcasting. Every commercial, every influencer's highlight reel, every must-have trend plants a seed. These seeds grow into beliefs like, I'm not enough unless I buy this. Happiness is out there. I need to be more to be loved. Over time, these ideas become identity, and identity becomes destiny. This isn't just media. It's a form of vibrational manipulation. Your frequency is being hijacked by unconscious resonance. What's more, even the spiritual and manifestation communities aren't immune. The same matrix energy slips in through false light, messages that keep people chasing visions of abundance or enlightenment while avoiding the shadow. This creates spiritual consumers instead of awakened creators. And as long as you're consuming someone else's vision, you're not manifesting your own. That's the hypnosis, convincing you to outsource your power in the name of empowerment. To break free is not to unplug from society entirely, but to see through it. To become conscious of what you're letting into your mind space. Every image, every story, every scroll shapes your internal frequency. And when you reclaim the authority to choose your input, you begin to reprogram your output. That's the true exit from the matrix, not escape, but inner sovereignty. Your brain is not a fixed machine. It's a living, breathing instrument, capable of rewiring itself every day. This ability is called neuroplasticity. But here's the hidden truth. The same power that can liberate you can also imprison you. Every repeated thought, emotion, and behavior becomes a groove, a neural path. And over time, those grooves become ruts. Like a record stuck on repeat, your brain plays the same patterns until you mistake them for who you are. The spell of repetition becomes your identity. This is the dark side of habit. It feels comfortable, familiar, safe. But in reality, it's a mental cage, a loop of past conditioning projected into the future. You think you're making new choices, but your brain is just following well-worn paths. This is why so many people feel stuck, even after reading all the books, taking all the courses, doing all the work. Their inner circuitry is still looping yesterday's vibration. Science shows us that neurons that fire together wire together. So when you worry every day, complain every day, scroll in comparison every day, you're literally sculpting a brain that is optimized for limitation. You're not manifesting lack because the universe hates you. You're broadcasting a frequency your brain has memorized. And the body, it follows suit, addicted to the chemicals of familiar emotions like stress, guilt, and self-doubt. But here's where the alchemy begins. Neuroplasticity works both ways. The moment you interrupt the pattern, consciously, repeatedly, you begin to create new wiring. It starts with awareness, noticing the loop. Then comes choice, inserting a new thought, a new breath, a new behavior. It won't feel natural at first. That's the withdrawal from the old self. But repetition is the key. Not forced positivity, but embodied practice. A new rhythm, a new resonance. In truth, habits are spells. They are frequencies you chant through action. And if you're willing to rechant, to reprogram, to rehearse the reality you truly desire, your brain becomes the wand, not the prison. This is how you shift from being programmed to becoming the programmer, not by hoping for change, but by practicing a new frequency again and again until it becomes your new default vibration. Ever feel like life is on repeat? Same relationships, same money blocks, same emotional spirals dressed in different disguises. That's not coincidence. That's the energetic echo, the vibrational residue of your unresolved patterns bouncing back at you through reality. You're not attracting based on what you want, but on what you are. And what you are is largely defined by the frequencies stored in your subconscious, tune, your body, and your emotional field. Energy doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your vision board or your wishful thinking. It responds to coherence, to what your system is actually broadcasting. That's why someone can say affirmations all day long, yet still attract scarcity or betrayal. If their inner vibration says, I'm unsafe or I'm not worthy, that frequency will echo into their circumstances, not as punishment, but as feedback. Life is always showing you your current vibration. Think of your reality like sonar. You send out a frequency, consciously or unconsciously, and the universe returns a matching signal. This is the law of resonance in action. You don't attract what you say, you attract what you believe. And belief isn't just mental, it's energetic. It lives in the tissues, in the breath, in the nervous system. If trauma taught your body that love equals pain, you'll keep drawing that in until the signal changes. This is why healing is not optional, it's magnetic recalibration. When you shift the frequency inside, reality must respond. But this isn't about fixing yourself. It's about remembering your original frequency, the pure vibration before programming, pain, or persona. That's your true point of attraction, not the ego's desire, but the soul's vibration. And when you tune to that, the echo changes. Life begins to mirror back your essence, not your wounds. So next time the same experience reappears, don't curse it, decode it. Ask, what is this reflecting? What is the echo trying to teach me about my signal? These aren't just New Age questions, they're quantum diagnostics. Because once you shift the cause, the effect must change. That's not just spiritual, it's physics. Frequency out, frequency back, echo transformed. There comes a moment in every seeker's path, a moment of rupture, a crack in the matrix. When the old script no longer fits and the rituals feel hollow, that's not failure, that's the spell breaking. It's the moment you begin to awaken from the hypnosis of your programming and remember that you were never meant to just react to life. You were meant to create it, not from automation, but from awareness, not from conditioning, but from consciousness. The true creator isn't a puppet of affirmations or a slave to the law of attraction. The true creator is a vibrational architect, one who feels reality into being, not because they were taught to, but because they remembered how. This awakening doesn't start with information. It starts with interruption. When you pause the loop, when you notice the thought and choose differently, when you breathe instead of react, that's the spark, that's the crack where the light gets in. What follows is uncomfortable and sacred. Because to awaken the creator within, you must dismantle the imposter self, the one who was programmed to please, to fear, to strive. That self isn't evil, it's just outdated. It was your protector, but it's no longer your guide. As you release it, something more ancient rises, a presence, a power, a knowing, not learned, but remembered. That's the true self, the one who was always creating reality, but now does it with intention. This isn't about manifesting faster cars or bigger houses, though those can come. It's about reclaiming authorship over your inner world, about choosing your frequency each morning, about tuning your nervous system to coherence, your mind to clarity, and your actions to alignment. Because when those three harmonize, body, mind, soul, you become a transmitter of reality, not a consumer of it. Creation becomes your native language again. So the spell doesn't break with a single decision. It breaks every time you wake up from autopilot, every time you say, "This thought isn't mine," every time you question a belief that used to own you. These are not small moments, they are revolutions. And with each one, you reclaim a piece of your divine authorship. That's how the creator awakens, not with noise, but with awareness. The subconscious is not a prison, it's a canvas. And once you awaken to this truth, you realize something radical. You can rewrite the code, not by force, not by fake positivity, but by consciousness, pure, present, undivided awareness. This is not about tricking your brain into believing something new. It's about becoming so vibrationally aligned with truth that the old code simply dissolves. Reprogramming begins with presence, because presence is the only state that isn't patterned. Most people try to change their subconscious using tools from the conscious mind, affirmations, goals, willpower. But that's like shouting at the ocean, hoping the waves will stop. The subconscious doesn't speak English. It speaks in symbols, emotion, repetition, and states of being. To rewire it, you must communicate in its language. Visualization paired with elevated emotion, breathwork paired with intention, repetition wrapped in belief. These are the instruments of transformation. Dr. Joe Dispenza often says, to change is to become greater than your environment, your body, and time. That's exactly what reprogramming requires. You must step out of the old identity, the I am shaped by years of stories and reactions, and enter a state of nothingness, a space where the mind is open, the heart is coherent, and the field is malleable. That's the quantum field. That's where the subconscious becomes writable. Practically, this means engaging in daily rituals that bring the brain into theta, the same brainwave state children live in during their formative years. Meditation, hypnotherapy, breathwork, deep prayer, these are not spiritual luxuries. They are rewiring chambers, places where the subconscious becomes fluid, and the architect within can lay new foundations, not just with words, but with energy, feeling, and faith. But here's the sacred key. You must feel it before you see it. You must tune your frequency to the version of you who already believes the new truth. That version is real. That version is waiting. And every time you return to that frequency, you reinforce the new code. Over time, it becomes your dominant signal. And when your subconscious begins to echo that new truth, reality bends accordingly. Not because you forced it, but because you finally became it. The secret behind manifestation has never been about thoughts alone. That idea that thoughts become things is only half the truth. The full equation lives deeper. Vibration becomes experience. Your thoughts may initiate, but it's your state of being, your frequency, that seals the deal. Vibration is the language of the universe. And while thoughts are fleeting, vibration is constant. It emanates from your emotions, your beliefs, your body, your breath. Imagine your reality as a mirror. Not of what you think you want, but of what you are. Every moment, you are broadcasting a frequency, a mix of your desires, your doubts, your wounds, and your dreams. And the field responds not to your words, but to your signal. That's the real law of manifestation. It's not intellectual, it's energetic. It's not about scripting, but synchronizing. Not about asking, but aligning. This is why some people manifest with ease, while others struggle endlessly. The former aren't just thinking positive, they're living in coherence. Their mind, heart, and body are in sync. They embody their desired state before the physical confirms it. This is frequency tuning, becoming the vibration of the reality you seek. When you radiate that signal consistently, the universe has no choice but to reflect it. That's not magic, that's resonance. So if your manifestations feel stuck, don't just examine your thoughts, feel your frequency. Are you vibrating from gratitude or grasping, from love or lack, from presence or projection? These subtle distinctions change everything, because the universe is not hearing your words, it's translating your energy. That's why true manifestation happens when you become the thing you desire, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. And here's the paradox. Once you become it, you no longer need it. You're no longer chasing the thing, you're being the thing. And in that beingness, life rearranges, not as a reward, but as a resonance. That's the real law of manifestation. Not the power of thought, but the power of vibration. The frequency doesn't follow the manifestation. The manifestation follows the frequency. You were never powerless. You were simply unconscious. And now that you've seen the code, you can change it. You can become the author instead of the echo, not by clinging to control, but by aligning with truth, not by forcing results, but by tuning your vibration to the reality your soul already knows is yours. The spell is broken not by information, but by transformation. Every time you choose presence over programming, authenticity over automation, vibration over fear, you rewrite the world from the inside out. And that is the real magic. So if this message stirred something ancient in you, a memory of your true creative power, let it anchor, let it ripple, let it rise. And if you're ready to reclaim your frequency, hit like, share this awakening, and subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel, because your consciousness is the revolution.